the larger time frame. Maybe we'll start with the larger time frame actually. So let's flip over here. I'm going to go over the bullish case and the bearish case. As you guys know, if you've been following along, I do prefer the bullish case. In the bullish case, we had a impulse off the low here, as I've labeled it, and we'll go over why I think that's an impulse. If you've already seen my thoughts on that, maybe you can skip ahead a little bit. But yeah, if it is an impulse, I'm still expecting at one point or another, whether the bottom is in or whether we have one more low, that we're gonna get another impulse up here for a C or a 3. So we'll go over why I think this is an impulse off the low here, and then we'll go over a bearish scenario too quickly, which I find less likely, but is it's not off the table. So why do I think this is an impulse? Well, for a number of reasons: extension, channeling, alternation. So in a third, you're normally looking for the 1618. We do get that level, and we do get a reaction there. But ultimately, for the fifth of the third, we get up to around the 200%. So good third wave extension, normally what you see. You also normally see some similarity between the length of 1 and the length of 5, especially when third's the extended wave. And we almost get right to the 100%. So that's quite often what you see. Now, in terms of channeling, the third wave normally breaks out of the base channel. So if you take your channel from 0 to 2, the third normally breaks out of that channel. And it's normally the third of the third that does that, which is exactly what happens here. We get this strongest, most, the lengthiest, and the most steep move in the third of the third. That's often what you see in an impulse. Quite often, the fourth will retest this channel line. Where does it find support? Right at this channel line. So yeah, in terms of extension, channeling, and the last thing, alternation. So if you get a steep wave 2, you're looking for a sideways wave 4. So let's just go at this degree, the yellow, steep wave 2, sharp, sideways wave 4, flat. In a 1-2-1-2, you often get 2 of the same corrections back to back. So another steep wave 2 at the white degree, and then another sideways wave 4 with the expanded flat. So perfect alternation. The only thing this count is lacking is this 1-2-1-2 looks a little bit shitty. Generally, as a guideline, you don't want the second 1-2 to break this base channel. It does, but it quickly gets back in. The other issue is counting this as an impulse is a little bit sus, and this kind of looks impulsive. So if I flip over to the bearish count here, it kind of looks like a flat. Without what happened after, I would have called this a flat. I really would have. I think this plays much better as a flat if you're just looking at this price action in a bubble. So I was expecting, this could have been a B. This could have been a 2. But I was expecting that was a flat. But it just doesn't work as a flat in the bullish case because the rest of the subdivision, like if we had the 2 here, it doesn't make sense that we have a 3. Unless this was all somehow part of the fourth, or you had like a tiny little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this plays better, to be honest, but it does look like a flat. That is the biggest issue with the bullish case. I'll go over why it doesn't really make much sense with this count, but I think there maybe is a valid bearish count there. So that's why I think we had an impulse off the low. I also don't think it's a fourth based on it doesn't really alternate with this. One possibility that I will go over, well, we'll get into it later when I'm on the bearish count. Let's stick with the bullish now. So still expecting a bottom to form somewhere here and move up in this scenario. Now, we had what I believed was an impulse down here, followed by a correction, followed by another impulse. Looked like a pretty solid ABC, contained in a channel. Almost a perfect 1-to-1, I do believe. Not quite, but pretty close. I mean, that's definitely a good level for a C wave to end. Do we bounce here? Yeah, we're kind of bouncing off this previous resistance here. But obviously, this isn't how you would like to see an impulse start. Could the bottom be in? Absolutely. There's a valid sideways count here for a wave 2, but we're in no man's land now. So originally I had long down here. I think my average entry was about 280. I closed it because I don't have confidence that we are doing this, although we still could. No doubt about it. That could be a wave 2. We could be going like this. But I need to see something that gives me more reason to believe that before I risk too much money. So I did close the trade in small profit. I think like 2 or 3%. Obviously not what we wanted when we were looking for this major move, but until we get a little more clarity here, I'm gonna let it play out. I got plenty of other alt trades on the go, shorts and longs, so no reason to risk too much money here when it's a little bit wishy-washy, a bit of a coin flip. So let's, in this scenario where the low is in, let's zoom in here a bit, and how could we potentially count this as a wave 2? Well, I think you'd have to go probably leading diag up to this. And we're working on some giant freaking ugly ass 2. The way I would count it would be a flat A, B, C, B, C, W, X, Y, X, Z, or potentially triangle Y. It's just who knows how this is gonna play out. This doesn't look like it's heading. I don't know. Is this an impulse down here? We're just gonna go like this? Yeah, potentially. It's just very, 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 very unclear right now, boys, which is why I'm in no trade. So why did I take this other trade? Well, I thought there was a small possibility that it did end there. And what we had was another 1-2 here. So 1-2, flatten the 2. And then I thought, hey, maybe this is another 1-2. Where did I take it? I took it right here. And maybe we're going like this. Obviously, that did not play out. But here's why I took that trade, and here's why I would take it again. I thought maybe this was a flat, just based on how this really looked like a 3-wave move into the high. And then I saw what appeared to be a triangle here. And this is what you normally see out of a triangle, a really dumpy move out. So I longed, once we got this bounce, I longed right here. I knew with a high degree of certainty that we were going to move up off here because this triangle just ended. So this was likely a fifth of some degree. So I took the long here thinking, you know what, maybe this is a 1-2-1-2 and we're going to head up. At the very least, I knew we would probably get some additional upside. I do think that this was just a WXY in the end. I also think Bitcoin swept its low if we go over and then popped back up into it. Yeah, so when I saw similar pattern on Bitcoin, when I saw us wick here and get back above, I was like, okay, we're probably, ETH will probably follow suit. We'll probably get another move up higher. So to me, it was just a really low risk, high reward play. I had no problem if I was wrong getting stopped out for a small loss, or in this case, I got out at break even because I put my stop right where we got in. Moved up, rolled back over. We're back out, no loss. So if you can get a risk-free trade like this, I like to take them. Should I have took some profit here? Maybe. I thought maybe even we were doing like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leading diag after I got stopped out. But yeah, it's just a mess in here. Like, I don't know. To me, that was a risk-free way to potentially get going. Obviously, that did not play out. So where are we at now if we zoom out? Well, if this is not complete here, I'd actually go with, I've seen some people counting it like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 to here, and then like triangle 4. I don't like that. 2 is way too small compared to this 4. I mean, it's not invalid, but just going off time symmetry, it doesn't really make much sense to me. What would make more sense to me is WXY. And I always kind of had my suspicion on, like, was this 2 the same degree as this 4? Because it looked a lot bigger. So I think in this bullish case, I'd probably go with a WXY. Then we're off. Does this play out as a triangle? I don't know. I don't really think it's a triangle like this, to be honest. Could it be? Absolutely, but I think you'd have to go like this if that was the case. If this plays out like this, it'll be a blessing, because when we know that this is a triangle and we're in the last move of something here. So maybe it plays out like that. That would be great, because then we know this is either a 4th or a B wave. Can't have a triangle on the 2, so it wouldn't be a 1-2, 1-2. So yeah, I'd definitely be looking along somewhere down here. We have the 1-to-1 right here. Wouldn't have a good extension in the Y if we only got there, but if we do this and then get back above, yeah, I'd probably take that long. But ultimately, I think this is probably the target down here that I'm most interested in. But yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out. Like I said, it could be a sideways too. We could move out of this. It could be a triangle. We could move down. It could be some sort of a larger flat here. A, B, C of the B, back up. Like, it could do that. It's just an absolute shit show here, boys. Do not get caught up too much trading this. Wait for it to break one way or another. If you want to scalp it, be my guest, but do not go like heavy position, swing long, and just hope for the best when we're in a coin flip situation would be my advice. If we are doing the bullish case where it's like a 1-2, you know, if we get a little impulse here and then we go like this, okay, maybe we're getting going there. So what I'm waiting for is either clear signs of a 1 hour impulse off this low and then move up. Could also, even if you want to play it even safe for that, wait for this to come up, break this level, and then just look to buy the retest. Otherwise, waiting for the breakdown down into one of these levels where I want to look for some divergence or potentially even another impulse off the low to really load up and then get going. But let's flip over to the bearish case. In the bearish case, I'll tell you why I don't like this count, but why it's valid. First of all, huge extension in a C wave. I don't know if there's another count here. I think I've maybe seen people count it like this: A, B, C, W, X, Y. Biggest issue with that is channeling, because normally you want an X wave to break this original AB channel, and it barely even comes back to test it. So I think that's like pretty rough count, to be honest. This that I have labeled here, also very rough. You have 2 flat. Like, the biggest issue with this is, one, the C is hyperextended, which sometimes you do get in triangles. But big overlap here. The end of 1 does not overlap the end of 4. So technically valid, but not what you'll want to see here, really. You have the extension in the 1. I believe this 5th is slightly shorter than the 3rd, so this is valid, boys, but it's one of the ugliest looking ABCs I've ever seen. Now, sometimes, I believe it was Neely who said this, actually. I don't think you see this in Elliott Wave International, but I have noticed it in my own experiences. Sometimes in triangles, you get big C wave extensions in like legs of the triangle. So potentially, like I said, I don't think this is a 4th that completed here based on no alternation with this proposed 2. If I really zoom out here, in the bullish count, I'm playing it as a completed ABC. Perfectly channeling. Perfectly extending 1-to-1, pretty much. And then I think this is an impulse. That doesn't mean the bottom's in. Like if you go to my pinned tweet on my profile, I have this as like an ABC, and then we're starting some sort of B wave, potentially of a triangle or a flat. So I'm not saying like we're just gonna rip to new highs here, but I do think there's some additional upside. But in this case, in this count, like I was saying, because of the lack of alternation with this wave and this wave, I don't think it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're heading down here. I think it's possible. Bitcoin and S&P and everything would have to just continue absolutely dumping to make this a reality, where you'd have to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I don't think that's the case. I'm definitely watching that potential. When that starts to become more of a reality is if we do this 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh shit, now we're getting an actual third. So if we get a massive dump out of here, or if this is a triangle, actually no, wait, I was considering this maybe being a 1, 2, 3, 4 extended fifth, but I soon realized that that's not possible because off log, yeah, the third would be the shortest, so that's not a good count. I think if we're doing the bearish case, we're still in the fourth. And it's a triangle. Or ABC, W, X, Y, flat. Triangle or flat if I'm bearish. I don't think we're just going to new lows. Same with Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's in a flat, so I think ETH is... I think Bitcoin is either in a triangle or a flat. Same with ETH. If we're in the bearish case. I think this is bearish for sure. I'm not so sure about ETH. So in the Bitcoin scenario, if we get a move up here, I'm leaning triangle. If we continue down here in the diag that I've proposed to the lows, then I think we're doing flat. If Bitcoin does triangle, I expect ETH to do triangle. If Bitcoin does flat, I expect ETH to do A, B, C. W, X, Y maybe? That's definitely possible. Like this. This count is certainly on the table. Very bearish, but it does have a move up soon. Definitely not going to negative 100. Ooh, that looks weird on log. Okay, let's tighten this up a bit. Oh my god, let's just relabel. Sorry, boys, bear with me. Wish we had more data on this chart, but probably be looking for somewhere in here. I'm not going to go with this as my primary. I'm not even going to... I don't really have a primary at a higher degree yet because I just want to see what this move looks like. If my suspicion that this is an impulse and we're having another move up is correct, I would need to see what this move looks like before I can have any confidence in what happens next. If this move is very strong, steep, high volume, well, maybe it is a third. If it's like kind of weaker than this one, just kind of chopping up here on lower volume, then yeah, it looks like an X. So we'll have to see. I mean, we got to see first if I'm even right about this impulse. I'm not claiming that I am 100%. I would say I'm confident in it, but the lower we go here, I would say I was very confident in it when we got to here, but now that we're chopping sideways, yeah, I'm starting to lose a bit of confidence in it. Would love to see it get up back above here, and then yeah, for sure, all lights are green and we're heading further up. But until we decide which way we are going to break from this and in which fashion, I can't be too confident. That's why I'm sitting it out and just playing other charts right now. Let's just flip over to Bitcoin here quickly and see if that can give us any hints as to what's going on. So I did say my primary on Bitcoin is we're in a bigger flat, A, B, C. Let's put a 1-to-1 extension on there, see where it goes. This would be beautiful, boys. Sweep this low, get the 1-to-1, and then head up here for the C of the flat. Would love to see it. Would love to trade it. I would love this count to play out. It would be so good for trading. I did say, I believe if we break this, we're probably going to head down. Again, is this a yeah, I think if you're just out here on a 4-hour, once you zoom in, it's harder to count this price action. It's not very clear, but I think out here on a 4-hour, you could probably go like this. Whether the 4 is done there or we're in some sort of flat, but I think we are getting some sort of impulse here. And we broke this important upward sloping support line. So yeah, I do think if we do something like this, I'll look to take a little short here. So I had this as a ABC, and then if you really zoom in on this move, it's also an ABC. So WXY in the 1, fucking choppy 2, and then we're looking for another 3-wave move, another 3-wave move, another. That's still my primary. You know, it's too early to like have confidence in it, but I think. I don't know. I don't see this as bullish for sure. It's really ugly. Does not look like the start of an impulse to me, unless again it's some sort of sideways 2. But that's starting to take a little too much time in my opinion. Even if we do move up here, I've seen so many people calling the low, and if we do move up, they will start celebrating. But if we do move up, I really just think we're doing this. A, B, C, D, E, down. All right, that's about all I can do right now. There's just no clarity. You just gotta wait, especially on ETH, to see which way this consolidation breaks. I do lean down for now. I am interested in longing down here, assuming we don't just absolutely tank through this channel. I don't know. This looks corrective to me too, but you know, like I said, it could be the flat. So we could W, X, Y down to the lows. We could sweep these lows just like Bitcoin. But this has a long way to go before it gets to the lows, sorry, 34%, whereas Bitcoin is pretty close to them. 7%. That's why I said if Bitcoin is in the flat, I don't expect, if it comes down, finds support here on this double bottom, and then goes like this, I don't think ETH goes as low as Bitcoin. So that's why I think ETH could easily be in A, B, C. All right, guys, those are my thoughts. Yeah, I'll continue to update once we get more clarity, but as of right now, it's like, don't overtrade this. There's other charts that are more clear. I just entered I'll post this on Twitter, but if you're still with me, like I just entered a long here for this flat play. There could be some additional downside. Depends on how you count this this first move here. I had it as a leading diag to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A little bit of an odd impulse, but it could be this. So there could be some additional down here, but very, very clear triangle, in my opinion. So just like the ETH trade that we just talked about, I'm expecting a bounce here. Whether it's a fourth or the start of a new impulse, I don't know yet. But yeah, I mean, if we're coming up in a very corrective manner, I'll close it and then look to re-enter down here. But I think there's a chance this is done. Leading diag, shallow 2. So the extension would be in the 1. Third would be shorter. Perfect triangle fourth, and then you're looking for the 5th to be shorter than this 3rd. So either done here, in my opinion, for the C of the flat and heading up, or I have this labeled wrong. This is actually a leading diag to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could also be a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, which would have it going much lower, maybe for the expanded version. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. Hopefully not. Hopefully this gets going in an impulsive manner, but definitely some options on the table. I think this was a pretty low risk, high reward play though, because I'm expecting we bounce and then it'll be whether or not we can get back through this level. So yeah, lots more clarity on other charts compared to ETH and even Bitcoin to a degree. Like, you know, my ADA trade here, A, B, C, D, E. This is going to break down. I can almost guarantee it. If you want to compare this to something, look back at Bitcoin in 2008. Or sorry, 2018. A, B, C, D, triangle in the E. You can actually get a triangle in the E wave of a triangle. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E. Perfect. Breakdown. Best spot to buy. Triangles, they're always B waves, X waves, or fourths. So in the case of a B wave, you get a C wave next. Where do you want along? You want along the end of C waves. In the case of a 4th wave, what do you get next? A 5th wave. Where do you want to short? You want to short a 5th wave. Well, I wouldn't try and pick tops, wait for some signs after a 5th wave to go short, but yeah, triangles are your best friend. I hate when people say they don't exist. They definitely fucking exist, and they are one of the best patterns to help you make the next big trade. So yeah, if we see a triangle in Bitcoin or ETH or anywhere, just know that the next move is probably the last one before you're going to get at least some sort of temporary bounce. And I'll leave you with that, guys. Triangles are your friends. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you do like this content. Appreciate y'all, and I'll see you next time. Peace.